Hey, it's Drew, and I'm back with some more Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. And we are about to get into the second part of the book called The Wealth Files. The Wealth Files. Refiling the unsupportive and unhealthy files, you kind of ditch those like you would on a computer, put them in a recycling bin, and put in more wealth files. This is an intro to that. This is covering some caveats, and so let's get into it. As we stated previously in the book, the first step to any change is awareness. Meaning, the first step to thinking the way rich people think is to know how rich people think. Rich people think very differently from poor and middle class people. They think differently about money, wealth, themselves, other people, and pretty well every other facet of life. Now we're going to examine some of these differences, and as part of your reconditioning, we're going to install 17 alternative wealth files into your mind. With new files come new choices. You can then catch yourself when you were thinking like poor and middle class people and consciously shift your focus to how rich people think. Remember, you can choose to think in ways that will support you in your happiness and success instead of ways that don't. So a few caveats to begin with. First, in no way, shape, or form do I mean to degrade poor people or want to appear to be without compassion for their situation. I do not believe that rich people are better than poor people. They're just richer. At the same time, I want to make sure you get the message, so I'm going to make the distinctions between the rich and poor extreme as possible. Second, when I discuss rich, poor, and middle class people, what I am referring to is their mentality. How different folks think and act rather than the actual amount of money they've got or their value to society. Third, I will be generalizing big time. I understand that not all rich and not all poor people are the way I'm describing them to be. Again, my objective is to make sure you get the point of each principle and use it. Fourth, for the most part, I will not always be referring to the middle class specifically because middle class people usually have a mix of rich and poor mentalities. Again, my goal is for you to become aware of where you fit on the scale and to think more like the rich if you want to create more wealth. Fifth, several of the principles in this section may appear to deal more with habits and actions than with ways of thinking. Remember, our actions come from our feelings, which come from our thoughts. Consequently, every rich action is preceded by a rich way of thinking. Finally, I'm going to ask you to be willing to let go of being right. What I mean by that is be willing to let go of having to do it your way. Why? Because your way has gotten you exactly what you've got right now. If you want more of the same, keep doing it your way. If you're not yet rich, however, maybe it's time you consider a different way, especially one that comes from someone who is really, really rich and has put thousands of other people on the road to wealth too. It's up to you. The concepts you are about to learn are simple but profound. And I can testify. Why else would I be reading this book to you? They make real changes for real people in the real world. At the end of each section, you will find a declaration and a physical movement with which to anchor it to your body. You will also find actions to take to support you in adopting this wealth file. It is imperative you put each file into action in your life as quickly as possible so that the knowledge can move to a physical, cellular level and create lasting and permanent change. Now, in another video that I just recently did, I was talking about muscle memory and how important I feel that is. And I just love I'd forgotten that he put this cellular permanent change in here, physical cellular level. It's what it takes. It's what it takes. Most people understand we are creatures of habit, but what they don't realize is that there are actually two kinds of habits: doing habits and not doing habits. Everything you are not doing right now, you are in the habit of not doing. The only way to change these not doing habits into doing habits is to do them. Reading will assist you, but it's a whole different world when you go from reading to doing. If you are truly serious about success, prove it and do the actions suggested. Now, a couple of things. You may want to watch the video that I made called The Secret to Success and why people are unsuccessful or why people fail. And watch that, and that goes into doing and action. Also, I'd like your feedback. I'm going to be reading these wealth files one by one. You're going to get all 17 of them. And if you have the book, follow along. But I think this will be good audio to listen to as well. I'd like your feedback. I'd like to know if you who don't have the book would like me to put in the declarations at the end and the actions that you want to take. Do you want me to read these actions to you or post them on the blog under this video so that you can read them and do them? So leave me your feedback. I really appreciate it. And I will kind of tally the comments I get, and we'll see where we go from there. So thanks. Go ahead and replay this again and listen to it again. And I'll see you in the next video.